We were playing Oregon, 40,000 or not 44, like 4,500 people, just like standing room only. I'll never forget the first out into my left fielder, Adam Hurley. Freaking, I couldn't even hear him calling for ball. Like I'm running out there at shortstop, and I'm like, and it was like one out. It was like the craziest sound I've ever heard. It was incredible. It was cool. It just
That's
echoes
awesome.
off of it's like an enclosed stadium.
I'm just trying to be the odds, yeah. I'm just trying to be the odds.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Beat the Odds. I'm your host, Caleb, and of course, alongside my boy, Trey Berstrom. What's up, Big Trey?
What's on, buddy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, well, guys, we have a very special guest with us today, none other than Mr. Austin Wobrock. That's how he was announced, but with the University of Hawaii. Not many people can say they played on that island. And so I got the privilege of playing with him in professional baseball and professional sports, and newly married this past year, and kind of life after baseball, but had a great career, college, professional. And so, Austin, I appreciate you joining the episode today, man.
Yeah, guys, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this takes us, and let's go. Let's go.
All right, awesome. So first things first, the question that I'm sure a lot of people would want to know off the bat, like, what was it like playing on the beautiful island of Hawaii? And what was that experience like for maybe somebody that's watching this, that they have some different offers and things like that, where they're trying to play some ball? What was that experience like?
Well, I mean, I would say I had never been when I first went to Hawaii. I didn't get picked up out of high school. I went to a JUCO, and then I know I was a late sign. It was after the season had been done, and I mean the guy was like, "Oh, we kind of like you." He saw me at like a little tryout after the season happened, and I was trying to get a what's it called when you go visit. I was trying to get a visit. He's like, "Come on, dude! Like you're a late sign. You're not getting a visit." I was like, "Okay, hey,
You're
I've
just
never
trying to
been
get
to
a free
Hawaii."
trip to Hawaii, right?
Exactly. I'm just trying to get, he's like, I get what you're doing, but no, I can't. So he's like, hey, we like you, but we don't know if we can give you any money. And I was like, okay, well, I have Liberty University. One of the guys was going to get picked by them. They hit him getting drafted on my team at Orange Coast College. And so they were going to give me some of his money. And he had like 75%. They're like, we can give you 50. I was like, that sounds great.
Okay.
And Hawaii had told me like, like we probably can't do much. I'm like, they said they can give me 50%, but you guys are going into the Big West, which is all around Southern California. We play Fullerton, Long Beach State, Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo. And I want to be really around my family, which was, even though I'm in Hawaii, right? We would play around West Coast, right? Baseball. And so I was like, give me anything and I will go. Just give me something. Give me a couple bucks. And he's like, all right, I'll see what I can do. He hung up, and he called me back like 5 minutes later. He's like, I got you 25%. Like, let's go. And I'm like, all right, I'm coming to Hawaii. Let's go.
Easy sell.
Yeah, it was an easy. I didn't really bargain myself very good. I was just like, I want to go play Hawaii, but I need something.
Give me a stick of bubble gum, a spot on the roster, I'm there.
Exactly. Like I'm ready for it. Like just do something for me, please.
Throw in a celebratory pig on a platter with a lei, and I'm good.
Hey, we as a team, we did a luau. So we dug up a pig and all stuff like that. Like as a team, we got rid of it, got rid of like all the hair on. I didn't realize there's a lot of hair on pigs, which I did not know. And there's a couple pieces that I missed taking off, and we missed cleaning the pig. And I had some hair in my mouth at one point for the luau. So that was not a fun experience, but the luau was pretty nice. But the experience there, I mean, I wish I was there for 4 years. I was there for 2 years. I loved every second of it. It's kind of like it's a smaller college. Like I think maybe 16. And when I was there, it was almost like 16 to 20,000. Like seems like, oh, small, like, but there's other schools that are like, there's like 50, 60,000. It just seemed like there was so many more people on that campus, but it was you had like a small little community, especially like the athletes. There was no like what's it called, like Greek life really there. So like the athletes were the party time. Like the athletes wore like you didn't have the creek, you didn't have this. Like if we were going somewhere, you're going, oh, we're going to the volleyball house, we're going to the basketball house, the football house, the baseball house, water polo, stuff like that. And so it was it was a good community. If you're an athlete, it was a very good community for that. And even now, like I had so many friends that weren't athletes. It was just you kind of everyone like came together. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was a cool vibe. It was a different vibe. I grew up around the beach around here. Like I'm from Newport Beach, so I had that beach vibe that just like I didn't get taken away from baseball because of the beach and because of the island. But I know plenty of guys that I played with skipping school, skipping this because they're from either Washington or Oregon, where it's just like it's cold, it's rainy, and now they're in Hawaii where it's rains, but it's like it's gorgeous every second of the day. And then we would have to, run a little bit because they're ditching class and they got ready. But
You're like, forget school, I'm going surfing.
yeah, honestly, dude, I had teachers that would come in barefoot, Hawaiian shirt. Dude, it was crazy.
That's cool.
That's nuts.
It was cool. It was a blast.
Yeah,
It was
well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to ask, like, being in paradise,
Mhm.
right? Playing a sport, how hard was it for you and or your teammates to be in the moment? Like, hey, man, like cutting out of practice a little early or not showing up early, not staying late to do that extra work to be able to not only compete for your position, but also to build a championship team, caliber team to go compete. Like, did you see that as a big issue for you? You kind of just answered that, but not only for you,
Yeah.
but for your team when you're in Hawaii.
Yeah, so we had a pretty versatile crew. Like I feel like Hawaii at the time when I played in 2012 to 14, they recruited heavily on like junior college guys.
Yeah.
So we had a couple like guys that were on island, so a couple guys from Hawaii. But a lot of them were like JUCO transfers, a lot of them. So they like to do that a lot. And I could see the guys from the JUCO area, like we kind of what's the word? Um, like it's just kind of we like kind of meshed together. It was kind of
Gel
like the
together.
island guys and then JUCO guys. And then it took a while, unfortunately. Like it took a while for us to all like be like, okay, we're a team now. And what's nice about that like fall ball, right, where you're just grueling, where you really start meshing. You butt heads a couple times when you're competing for spots, you butt heads. But um I think towards after the fall, like we all had the same plan. In the very beginning, everyone's like shocked we're in Hawaii. You're doing things, you're being stupid, you're going out, you're um coming late to practice doing this and like so there was times where you could see like some guys got cut, like so we had little ups and downs, but you could see like who really came together like, hey, this is what your goal is. What is our goal? Our goal is to win championships for the state of Hawaii, bring on a show because like when you're there, you're their pro team. Like you're there. My first game packed. We're playing Oregon, 40,000 or not 44, like 4,500 people, just like standing room only. I'll never forget the first out into my left fielder, Adam Hurley, freaking I couldn't even hear him calling for ball. Like I'm running out there at shortstop, and I'm like, and it was like one out. It was like the craziest sound I've ever heard. It was incredible. It was cool. It just
That's
echoes
awesome.
off of it's like an enclosed stadium, and then the outfield, and then the back, there's like a huge wall that would go up to their dorms, but like that just echoed off the sound, and it was loud, and they were ruthless sometimes, especially if you're their team. But if you're not doing good, man, trust me, I've been booed a couple of times there. That I'm not feeling good.
Yeah.
Dude, fans can be ruthless on college kids. And like now I'm 37, I'm older. Looking back, I'm going, man, that's a 20-year-old. Like I'm watching college football because I mean, we look at those, I mean, I've seen some of these guys and you're like, that's who they made that Under Armour statue at Dick's Sporting Goods about. Like this dude is like 6'8", like sheer muscle. That's a 20-year-old. No, man, that's a 40-year-old man. But it's hard to differentiate that sometimes, especially in college sports. But man, it's like, dude, that's an 18-year-old kid. That's a 20-year-old kid. And it's like you're out there just dogging him, man. And it's to play in those type of atmospheres or those situations. I mean, that takes a toll on your mental game as well. I mean, you said, being booed by your own crowd.
Yeah, it was it
That's
was
got to mess with you.
it definitely does a little bit, but also you got to think too, like this is like the first time for a lot of us, like just like there were some guys like, especially like me, like had never been to Hawaii, and we just like went to school there, and it goes for all college kids when they're out and they go to these different colleges and they're away from home for the first time. Like it definitely takes like
It's a different animal.
different animal, takes the right coach, the right people to be around, right teammates. And I feel like I really had a good core group that came in. I actually became a lot of good friends with like the freshmen that came in, like because we did have some freshmen that were in, but there was a lot of juniors that were transferred. But it was like we kind of like came together where it's like, yeah, they might be a little younger than me, but we were all experiencing that same thing, that new, like going to Hawaii, being on a D1 for the first time. Like it was cool. It was a definitely a cool experience. Still friends with a lot of those guys today, which is
Well,
awesome.
That's awesome.
I love that. Staying in the same lane, a lot of people might not know this, and feel free to share as much as you can about this. But I know, like going the JUCO route, that's most baseball players. They want to get drafted in their first freshman year, sophomore year is kind of like the dream where you're trying to just skip ahead. You went to a very great JUCO, and a lot of people may not know this, but your head coach that was there, he was tragically in an accident with Kobe, right? Kobe Bryant, and I know he meant a lot to you. Can you speak a little bit about just some of the things you've learned from him, your time kind of just being a young man, and then the impact that he left, and just kind of the tragedy that happened? How have you been able to kind of overcome and kind of cope with that, and just kind of sharing that story? I mean, your coach passes away on a helicopter with Kobe Bryant. Like,
Yeah.
how do you deal with that?
Yeah, it was definitely a shock. I remember I was at church, my buddy called me, he's crying, and we just kind of both broke down. I remember calling my wife Shelby, and she never hears me cry. I never cry. Like it's just like, but it was just it hit hard. Like he was not just a coach, but a mentor, father figure to almost everyone that went through that program at Orange Coast College. And what was great, I got to coach with him in 2019. They ended up winning a state championship there. Um, and unfortunately I wasn't there at the end because I was playing with you, but it was a great time to get him to like know him on that level, like know my like no like equal by any means, but like it was cool like how he would like talk to you. And he kind of talked to you like when you he was coaching me. But for me, like I was always like, hey, if you're the coach, like respect or that. And I was always a little nervous, but he had a little temper. He had a little temper to him every once in a while too. But that man could coach in the right way, and it was incredible. Like he he earned his respect by just like how he was with everyone. Like I mean, you can see him. He was buddies with Kobe. You know what I mean? Like that man just you have respect no matter what. You're Kobe Bryant, but like people drew to him for how he was, and who he was as a person. But like coaching side by side with him, I definitely learned how to, because now I'm a coach. So I definitely learned certain things, how to talk with kids pretty much, like they're coming out of high school, they're 18, 19. He's getting these kids and how they are reacting to being alone, being on their own, being, in an apartment with a bunch of dudes the first time, screwing up, messing up. Like there's so many different stories of like my teammates that screwed up, and he would literally, I remember him like leaving, he was telling us, we had like a bunch of stories after he had passed, and my buddies were talking about how like they got busted one time by like the little cops we had at like the Orange Coast College, but like he drove down and like was like their father figure because these guys were from out of state, like the little things he did. It was so cool to see, and I feel like that has helped me in my coaching aspect to like not treat them just like players, but like people, like friends, and understand what they're going through because everyone's going through something different. And I think
Yeah.
that's the way you have to coach certain times. There's so many different ways to coach people. And he was very good at that. He was able to be stern, but be like you would want to listen to him because you wanted to be around him. And it wasn't like you're scared of him. Like every once in a while, yeah, I'm like, I don't want to be near this man. He could kick my ass. But just like it's just it's a different, I don't know how to, it was like almost like a father figure. You know what I mean? Like you have so much respect, you have so much love for the man, and he would do anything for you. And he did that with everybody that went through that program. It was incredible. It was incredible.
See, I obviously I can't relate to to some of what you're just talking about. Losing a coach. I haven't had that happen yet. But I got to play. So I played 2 years of JUCO at Chattanooga State. We were number one in the country. We lost the series against the winner of Georgia to go to Grand Junction. But then a couple of years removed after I graduated, I wanted to coach and teach, and so I actually went back and I coached with him. So getting to play under somebody and then coach alongside, it's a different animal. It's a different animal. And I just remember playing for, Coach Dennis. I was afraid of him, thought he was crazy, nuts, like didn't understand what he did, disagreed with a ton of stuff, and was short-sighted on a lot of things. And then when I worked with him, when I would talk to guys that we all played with, I'm like, dude, this is probably like the funniest guy I've ever met. Like in between the lines, it's business, and he sees so much more than what anybody else sees. But I'm like, outside the lines, dude, he's like my best friend. This is like nuts how much I like this dude. I was like, when we were playing for him, I wanted to kill him. But it's funny when, we're not on the same level, but it's like we're colleagues with the same goal in mind, and you're getting to be able to have different conversations, because obviously he's going to talk to you as a coach a lot different than what he was as a player. So I understand what you're talking about with that. I mean, that's a cool dynamic to have, and not a lot of people get to do that.
Yeah, I remember like when the last time I was coaching with him, like I remember we're like, oh, coaches meeting like in the hotel. We were in Santa Barbara, and like he's cracking a beer, passes me a beer, and I'm like drinking with my coach. It was the most surreal thing. It was so funny. He's cracking jokes. They're talking old stories about girls. I was dying laughing. I'm like, I could have never fathomed doing this back in the day, because I just saw him as a coach,
Yeah.
like, and like, come a bed check. All right, good. Like I could never see him that way. And so like we're going out to dinner, and it was just it was so funny. Like they're cracking jokes. He's making fun of me. He's doing this like we're just having the best time. And I was like, oh, like it was so cool, because I definitely was so nervous. I'll never forget. I had this one story that we drove out to Palm Springs area where we had vans. So we didn't have enough money for buses, but we had big vans to drive. And of course, I was one of the people that drove. I don't know why. He's like, Austin, you're driving. I'm like, all right, I'm driving. And he
Driving,
calls.
by the way, driving with Austin Wobrock is pretty scary. So I can't imagine you driving a van, let alone a car.
My wife says the
A
same
van
thing.
full of college guys.
Yeah.
I know. So he's driving behind me, and I'm driving in front, and he calls me. He goes, Austin, and I'm like, anything he says to me, I'm like kind of nervous, but I'm listening, and he's like, and apparently I didn't really hear what he said, but what he said was like, hey, like my brakes are touchy. Like I need you to be in front of me. So like if we do stop and go bumper to bumper, like, and if I hit you and not like a random person.
Somebody else.
Yeah, so like at least we hit the OCC car and not us. And I'm like, okay, didn't hear that right when I got off the phone. I was like, "Hmm?" I'm just zooming, and I just book it. And like he was like, "What the heck are you doing?" And like I get there, and I beat him by like 20 minutes. And I'm just waiting there, and he goes, "Austin, what the hell are you doing? Did you not have I talked to you?" And I was like, I'm like, this is why I said that. I'm like, you're an idiot, Austin. I'm like, oh man. He was roasting me for a while after that. That was funny. That was a good memory where I was just like, I was just starstruck all the time. Like he'd won all these championships. He's such a good coach. This is like the very beginning of like one of our first games. So like I wasn't really that like close with him. Oh man, it was bad. It was so funny though.
Bro, this is what I really miss, and those watching that have been able to form relationships and whatever you do, not just sports, but just life and growing up and just like the experiences. That's probably what I miss the most about playing, is just like the stories and the memories and just like stuff like that. But dude, I'll be honest with you. When we started playing together, one of the things I really appreciate about you is you made me really like enjoy the game again. I was in a place where I was like, okay, I'm doing really well. I was kind of upset that I'm not getting promoted the way I need to be, or like I kind of took a step back or whatever. But when I started playing with you up the middle, you're playing shortstop, which is my position. But you were the
Not
shortstop,
no more.
right? Yeah, not anymore. And then I moved to second base. But we had a great dynamic because we did have like four shortstops in the infield. We had Luis Pintor, who was playing third base one
Crazy.
night, which is, play with the Marlins. And then, you're playing shortstop, the hands team in full effect, right? And then I played second, and then we had Connor Crane playing first, or Taylor
Or
Bryant, and
Taylor,
vice
who also was
versa.
supposed yeah.
Yeah, so we had just all four shortstops in the infield at all times. But one of the things
Yeah.
I appreciate about you is just like you just made it so much fun to play. Like just always happy-go-lucky, like excited. And I feel like a lot of players, it's all business and they kind of take the fun out of the game. Can you talk a little bit about just how you were able to have that mindset around sports and life, and just like how you approached and went about your business, and just how much fun you had, and how happy-go-lucky, like what, like why, and like,
Why?
yeah.
Oh, why? Maybe my ADHD might help. No, okay. But it just I always wanted to like I loved what I did. I loved playing ball every day. I told my like I had it like written down like never ever give up. Like I was going full-fledged, like this is what I do. Like I wanted to dive every day. I wanted to do this. I wanted to have fun, like doing trick plays, doing stuff like that. Like I want to just be out there having my best life. It's a kid's game. I wanted to play like it. I wish I was always because I mean it baseball's so ups and down, up and down, up and down. I wish I was a little bit more here sometimes. I feel like sometimes I was a little too high. I would get a little low. And that's why I feel like I didn't go as far as I possibly could.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like when I'm out there, like I need to be doing something. And like I remember when I was younger, I was like, baseball's boring. Like I like soccer, I like hockey, I like this where I'm consistently going. So I had to find fun in my own and talking to you or talking to my third baseman in between every pitch and moving and singing and scanning the fans. Like it was just like I remember my third baseman in Hawaii hated me. He also didn't like me because I took his spot at shortstop. But I would talk to him. He's like, "Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me." I'm like, "Okay, sorry. Hey, we got 2 outs. We got 2 outs." And then I also went to when I went to Washington Wild Things in Pennsylvania. Um, our third baseman was like he didn't really like me, and I didn't really like how he went about the game. Very just stoic, very just like always mad and stuff like that. I'm like, well, that's probably why you're here and not with the Rockies anymore. In my head, I was thinking this, but like I'm trying to talk to him. I'm like, hey, like this, like he's like, stop talking to me. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not like this is what. So I'm just talking to whoever. It just helped. And there's some guys that like I loved. Like we had our little handshakes, we had our sayings we would say. We got like it just we embraced like we realized like we're lucky to be here. We're blessed to be here. You get your family gets to see you in the stands play every night. That's awesome. Like that is incredible. I think we were able to just kind of like joke back and forth and like we realized like yes it's serious like this is our job but like we're able to realize like this is a fun game we get to play and
And
that's how
by far, hands down, it's my favorite double play partner of all time.
did
No doubt.
same
Me and you
same
up the middle, like I played with a lot of guys, played up the middle, and you got to be good chemistry. You got to have some,
100%.
I mean, you got to have that, just know where the person's going to be. What do you got? And just communicate. And, by far the best dynamic duo double play partner. And speaking of that, I told Trey this before we jumped on. I was like, hey, bro, do you got any top 10 Sports Center plays, man? Because me and my boy Austin, we got one. And but let's talk a little bit about that. And Trey, you can ask a little bit about this, but just to give you guys some insight, Austin would always in BP, beforehand, he would it's not like you do an awesome play in the game, just you pull a feather out of your hat.
Mhm.
This guy was doing that practicing that for that moment, right? It may happen it may happen once in your lifetime, but you practice it every single day because you never know when that play might happen.
Yep.
And literally, Austin, he worked on his trick plays as much as he did his routine ground balls.
I had to have some fun with it, man. I would take ground balls before batting practice, during batting practice, then after batting practice, before the game, and then sometimes after the game if I didn't have a good game. So it's just like, but that's what I loved. I wish I did my hitting as much as I did my fielding because I would have gone a little bit further. But I love fielding. Like that was just my passion.
So
And
I feel like listening to you talk on the trick plays and that kind of stuff. If the Savannah Bananas was around, or I don't know how long they've been around, but if like they're around, it's like, dude, you sound like a guy that should be playing well.
100,
Yes.
100%.
Austin's the reason they created the Savannah Bananas. That's
Dude, 100%. Like everyone's like, you should have done it. I'm like, dude, I'm 30 now. Like my back friggin' hurts. Like I'm not. Like I'm chilling. I enjoyed what I did. I don't need to go back.
You've seen some of the plays with shortstops that like field it behind his back,
Dude,
bounce
100%.
pass.
Dude, I love it. Like I see that, I'm like, dude, I remember doing that stuff in batting, bro. Like that's sick. They get to do that because like if you do that stuff in a game, you're getting hit, you're getting cut, you're getting like
You're getting
released.
smoked. You're like my kids. So like my oldest one is about to be 12, but like they'll be doing that stuff. And there's a kid that tried that in a Ripken tournament. There's a shortstop that tried that and messed it up. And I'm sitting there on like,
Dude,
someone peg him. Like,
yeah.
I didn't say that out loud because not all parents know.
No,
To me,
they-
understand or know the game. I was raised in a different era. I mean,
Yep.
baseball
It's a
is,
different
hey man, if they do that stuff like, hey, that's an ear hole, that's this, hey, this is going that. Caleb, our next conversation with Drew, there's a fight you're going to hear about. It's going to be nuts on the next podcast. Also, you got to chime in. You're going to listen into this.
I got it.
People just, it's a different game. Like I'm all for having fun. And what y'all were talking about earlier, I don't ever think I mean, I liked all my teammates. I don't have beef with anybody. I still talked to a ton of them. I don't think I had a great relationship with any of the third basemen. It was always the shortstop and second baseman. It was like we were two peas in a pod.
Yeah.
And so when y'all were talking about it, I'm thinking back and I'm going, yeah, me and Chevy or me and Bistain. I'm sitting there going, yeah, but my third baseman, I never talked to that guy. I was always talking to my shortstop or my second baseman.
Yeah. I tried to talk to him all the time. I had a couple that like they would chime in, they would talk, and Caleb Pintor, like he was funny, man. He was a live human. I loved him. And so like he would chat, like that's what I loved. We had like a great camaraderie with everyone. Like we would talk throughout the whole game and like laughing after making plays and coming together, like just having the best time of our life. Like it was awesome. Like
we had a really good team. We won, Trey. We won a lot of games. Made it to the league championship game. We went 5 games with the series and lost by like 1 run. It was it was heartbreaking, but like we had a solid team, and that was the last ever professional game that I ever played. Was with Austin. My last at bat, I got a base hit up the middle. That was my last at bat. But one of the things that I really appreciate about these conversations is you look back on the memories and just you
can't replace them, man.
You appreciate all the time you spent with the people and the relationships you built, and it's just so amazing to think back on. But you have 2 SportsCenter plays, so I want to talk a little bit about that. Describe the first one, and then we can kind of talk about our SportsCenter play. But that was by far one of the best plays ever, the one that you made by yourself, and we'll make sure we post it in this video. And make sure we do it. But walk us through that play.
So the play I've done it before. So it's a pretty much a backhand play in the hole, a double play backhand play, where normally you're gonna have to spin and throw it, or you're gonna have to like get it down low between your arms.
Come under. Yep.
So I can do that play, and I always just thought, I'm like, this is kind of hard. Like it's just like there's a lot of room for error because you're spinning and throwing. I've done it. I've made it 100 times. There was one play, but so I was like, I just decided like, oh, let's see if I can like if I can just whip my arm because I'm already down there. I can whip my arm and throw it between the legs. So I'm running this way instead of having to turn and throw. I'm just like, well, I'm just going to keep running and just whip it through. So I practice it all the time, just like for fun, like, hey, deep backhand, let's see what I can do. So, but there's only a one real play. If it's too far, it's not going to work. If it's too close, you can just get down and drop a knee. If it's a specific one
It's
where,
got to be that ball.
and that's the only time I can ever try. I'm like, okay, if you hit it here, like telling the pitcher or the pitcher's like, hey, hit the fungo right here. But then I was like, oh, okay, I can't do it. So there's a specific one that you can, and it happened to me, I think 2 years earlier, and we were down by whatever, and I was like, okay, I've practiced it, and I practiced it for years, and so I'm like, I'm like, but I got nervous, and I was like, screw it. So I just went like this, and what happened? Overthrew our second baseman into right field. The guy scored. We ended up losing by like 2 runs. And I first told myself, if that play ever comes in again, I am going to do this because
Yes.
I am never going to have to deal with that. If it's a little bit further, perfect, I'm throwing. If it's a little bit closer, I'm doing that. But it's that one play. And so, unfortunately, like I almost got like a little caught up because the throw that I had was like a little bit of a lob. Like I normally can beeline it. Like I've done it before in practice. I'm like, shoo, like that thing's coming in hot. And so I ended up doing it. I'm like, screw it. I think we were losing or something like that. I'm like, I was pissed. I think I struck out the guy before. I was like, I don't give a no. And I just threw it between my legs. Caleb goes, freaking stretches out. Boom. The guy like did like a pop-up slide. So I think like he ended up was out, like, I think he might close to being safe, but the umpire was like, yeah, you're gone. Everyone was just like, what the heck? I remember running in the dugout and like everyone was like, what just
What just
happened?
happened?
It was sick. And we looked at each other like, what just happened? Did you just do that? I was like,
Whenever he threw it, usually we're taught as infielders, make sure you're clearing the glove, clear your body so you can see the ball being thrown to you. Well, I'm sitting there waiting for the ball to come and it's on me because he just threw it between his legs and he wasn't even looking at me. Like that's how many times he practiced that where he was running towards left field, the throw or the ball took him, backhand deep in the 6 hole, and he just launches it between his legs, and I stretch and boom, and literally, the moment in Sandlot whenever Smalls, he's like, just hold your hand, just hold your glove up. And he's like, I'll take care of the rest. Literally, that was the moment for me where I'm like, close my eyes and I'm like,
You didn't have to do any. You didn't have to do anything. Austin did all the work.
I was like,
it was
here it is. And it was the third out and we ran off the field. And I was just like in awe. I was just looking at him like with my jaw dropped, running. I'm like, that was freaking cool.
I remember walking the dugout, everyone's like,
yeah, it was just like a stunned, like I don't think that's ever been done in the history of baseball. I'll be honest with you.
I feel like
Have you ever seen anyone else do that other than
I
you?
have not. I feel like not in a game. I feel like I've seen there was like I think one like up the middle or something like that with I think a second baseman did it. It was Brandon Phillips.
Mhm.
I think he's definitely done something
Between
like
Phillips and Cano, they've had some sick
that.
plays.
100%.
But not deep in the 6 hole where
But
you're
not deep in the 6 hole. You don't see that.
between their legs. Like,
Probably
anyways.
probably shouldn't have been doing that.
Well, because deep in the 6 hole, you're farther away as a shortstop to come back to second base. As a second baseman going up the middle backhand, second base isn't that far.
Right.
Yeah, and between the legs, running through and going through, like Kayla, you've done it in practice. Like it can be doable, but it has to be the right moment. You have to like,
Right.
it's kind of honestly like I didn't even think about it. It just happened.
It just happened. Yeah, and this is
I was like, I need to get rid of it quick.
Yeah. So I remember like when I played, I always like whether I'm playing shortstop or second base, I'd always look like how much foul territory do I have, and where's that bloop going to go over and go make a diving play? How if it's over here, am I going to slide? Am I going to head first? Like, and then when you're playing, I'm like, okay, man, I'm first. The ball hit here. I'm doing this, doing that, and I'm imagining if a ball's hit slow chopper, am I coming up, going under? Am I going to how am I judging it? I was constantly running plays through my mind. Like your mind never stops, and you're always talking to your, me talking to my shortstop, always talking like, "Hey, this happened here. I got this, or this, or you have this," and all the time. And then I'm talking to my center fielder, right fielder, like, "Hey guys, this over here, we got this," and because the way we played, we relayed signs. I'm sitting there, I'm giving my outfielders the pitches, going, "Hey, we're going away soft here, so look for a bloop or something over here," and we're shifting, dude. We stole we stole everybody's signs and we ran on all signs. I mean, our middle infield, we're watching the pitch coming in and all that, and then we're relaying it out and we're moving as the pitcher's coming set. We're taking a step, always moving, dude. Like we played ball the way I think baseball should be played.
It should be played 100%. Like that's the thing. Like I'm trying to teach these kids. I coach 10-year-olds and 14-year-olds. Like they have to be like 5, 6. Like there's should be like 5 plays in your head at all times that like what you're gonna do next. What happens if you get a play on your backhand, forehand, run through, drive back. If you make an error, what do you do next? If it's not hit to you, what do you do? Like be 6 plays you should be able to think of like that. And yes, they're 10. So it's like I'm like, just give me 2. Know what you're gonna do if you field it, and know what you're gonna do if you don't get the ball. Like it's like let's start with that. But like I love he said like people are like, oh, baseball, it's so easy. It's so like, oh, it's not, dude, it's a mental game.
It's a mental game. And you got to be prepared. Like what you said, it happened. But dude, you were going over that in your head so many times to where when that play presented itself, you're like, ball game. And you made it look like you made it look natural.
Like I do it all the time. But and that's the thing, like, and that's how every play should be, where it's, and I love how you're saying that you're talking, like, I remember talking to my outfield, I was like, hey, like, I'm getting this, you call me, I'm running around, I'm getting everything that I possibly can until someone calls me off. I'm expecting everyone to miss the ball. So if they do miss it, I'm not surprised. And that's just how I just played like as a little kid, like I'm gonna run. You've seen those like kids that like just like run and literally
they're everywhere.
They take the ball from everyone. Like that's how I felt like I wanted to play. Like I'm like, I'm going to always be ready 100% of the time, just in case, right? They miss it. And if they do, let's go. I'm gonna make a sick play out of it. Like I always just like I want to make a sickest play every day. That's all I care about. Like let's have fun.
I know all the time. It's like, dude, who's making it today?
Who's gonna make it today? Like
let's have. Austin's had one. I've had one.
Yep.
Trey, maybe your kids can make up for it one day. But
hey, Trey,
hold on. I've had some plays.
They weren't recorded. Yeah,
and nobody got it.
I'd say that too. But no. So the second,
I'll let you guys have the top 10s.
Well, the second one that we made was a play up the middle. I was playing second. Austin's playing short, and I dive up the middle, backhand directly behind the base, hard hit ground ball at the middle, runner at first base. So it's a force out. It was I think we had either no outs or 1 out. I don't remember. But I go for it and dive, and the sun was kind of going down. It's probably like 5:30 or 6 o'clock where the sun's going down, and the sun would usually go down right behind the left field or the left field stadium side. So I'm diving this way and the sun's kind of in my eyes already, but I just flip it up and Austin's beelining it across the bag and he bare hands it, pirouette spins and makes a 1-hop throw to first base for a bang bang double play. Like one of those, plays that is just once in a lifetime type of play, right? And that was,
they don't happen that often.
That's probably the best. I mean, I've made a lot of great plays, but that was for all those things to be executed where you got to dive, you got to make the glove flip, he's got to catch the ball with his hand and spin around and make a good throw, and then the first baseman's got to pick it. Like there are so many different elements to what made that play really cool. But from your point of view, Austin, I never asked you this. I know what my point of view was because I was on the ground flipping it up, but after that I didn't see it because I'm on the ground. But your point of view, what was your vantage point, and how did you see it?
So like I remember when you were, because like we're always like, me and Kay, we had such a good relationship where it's like we're both trying to go for the ball, but we understand like if it's a little bit to that second base side, like he's got range, he knows I got range. So like I saw it like coming up and like I'm like, oh, he's got this for sure. But I know that like, hey, he's gonna be up the middle. The guy was pretty fast running up the line. I'm like, there's no way I can catch this with my glove, spin or turn shoulder side and throw. I had to just go with it, and it had to turn with boom, bare hand, let's go, throw it through him. And what I feel like kids don't get right now, like these days or when they're growing up, it's almost every play ends with a pick. It's because their first baseman, that's their job, is pick. We don't need to throw as hard as we can up because you're going to sail it. No one's going to catch a ball jump. Learn to throw those nice one hops.
Give
And
your
I
first
remember
baseman a chance. Yeah, give your first.
100%. You give the first
Give
base
a
a chance because they
chance.
can pick that, especially if you do a long hop or a short hop. Like they're most times going to do it. And I remember looking in some of the comments, they're like that throw was trash. She couldn't even make it a first. I'm like, these guys don't know. Like, give the chance.
No.
Got to get rid of it quick. Boom, boom, one hop. There's so many plays in the big leagues. Everything is a one hop, a long hop.
Yeah.
You
And
give it.
people don't understand. They don't pay attention to that. And I look back like the best first baseman I ever played with was AJ Morris. The guy scooped everything, and he made us look so good.
So
I
good.
mean, if it was a bad throw, it's like AJ's got it. The dude didn't miss. He scooped everything. And when you watch a pros, man, you're sitting there going, "That's good scoop, good scoop." Like everything is that. It's like, guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. And when you
Yep.
try to be too perfect, you don't throw it up the line, down the line, or high. Give
Mhm.
them a chance. All they do is sit there and work on picks and their footwork. Give them a chance.
100%. That is the goal for the first baseman. You keep everything in front and they pick. I remember I had one error my junior year in at Hawaii, and then I go to summer ball. I had like 21 errors. Because I would always my first baseman could pick anything, and I would get everything in the hole. My third baseman in summer ball was horrible. I had to get these balls deep in the hole, and so I'd be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna throw a pick, miss pick, miss pick." My coach is like, "You have 20 errors. Like, what's going on?" I'm like, "Coach," he's like, the first baseman hasn't picked anything. I'm backing up the third baseman. I'm making all these stupid plays. But like it's crazy how if your first baseman cannot pick it, how
Mhm.
detrimental it is for the
Oh, it
team.
hurts. It hurts
It
bad.
hurts.
Yeah.
And
And it was
the
a sick
double,
kick too. You know.
absolutely. And what see when listening to you guys talk about that double play, your top 10, I remember because again, you're anticipating and you know what type of balls are what, who's getting what. Because you're like,
Mhm.
hey, yeah, if it's on that side, Caleb's got it. I'm doing this. And it's like when that ball's hit, it's almost like you're running to the base, laughing, excited. You're like,
Yeah.
oh
I'm like,
God, here it
what's
comes.
going on?
Like
Like,
you
yeah.
already know it's coming.
Dude, 100%. And what's cool is like we've talked about it, and I remember Caleb, he was like, I want the balls here, like when you throw it. And I remember him telling because the first time we were meeting, I'm like, where do you want me to throw it? He's like, I want to hear. I'm like, all right, I got you. There's times he's like, Austin, you hit me over here. I didn't want it there. I'm like, okay. So I made sure it was here. And then for him, he's like, what do you want? I'm
Prima
like,
donna, dude.
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, when he asked me, I'm like, anywhere, give me it, please. Like, I will get it for you.
I'll
Let me
body spin, I'll pivot, I'll make it look good, man. Just get it to me,
exactly. I'm
I'll
like,
finish.
I'm here for you. I'm here for you. But yeah, like that play, I just remember him freaking sliding, and with the turf, he's just moving even fast. Like it was perfect, man. It was
It was
so
nice.
sick. And that play just came up like it was like a year ago, just out of nowhere. Like
Oh,
it's
dude,
like
there's millions of views on it. It
dude,
circulates. We'll make sure we
resurfaced.
post it and try to play it on here. But yeah, it
When we share it
circulates
on
on.
Instagram or something, we'll put it with the video, with some clips.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
circulates.
it
It
like
circulates
resurfaced
quite
randomly.
often.
I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
and that's
I get
hard, and that's
tagged
harder
all
than
the
you
time.
think. And that's harder than you think. Like the play that Caleb had to even dive, glove it, and flip it to you before you jumped on. I was telling him, I was like, my in high school, I was a senior. My brother was a freshman, and we were
Mhm.
short and second base. And there was a play in district tournament at Farragut, and I dove up the middle as a shortstop, and I gloved it, and I went to flip it up to him, and I couldn't get in the air, and it just rolled to him, and he had to barehand it. And I was like, oh man, that looks so bad.
And especially a backhand one, like
Yeah.
you have any wrist flick, it's going the wrong
Mm-mm.
way.
Yeah.
If you scoop it out, it's going that way. Like he had to like it has to be perfect. And like that's
Yeah.
the thing, like glove flips, like we make it look easy, but ladies and gentlemen, this
Practice.
isn't easy. Like he
Mm-mm.
real smooth, like, oh yeah, that's nice and easy. Like I teach kids now, like I just have a kid who's now in freshman, but like I had to teach him how to dive. You have to teach like I'm like when I first started coaching, I was just like, it just happens. Like just dive, dude. Like why can't you just dive for the ball? Like he's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, okay. And like in my glove flip, he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, just glove flip. Like do this, that. Like that's what we do, right? And he's like, I'm 9. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, because like it takes practice, and like
Years.
that's what we've worked on. We work on stuff just having fun. I remember with Taylor Bryant, we would have our like SportsCenter, like, okay, let's do SportsCenter plays. Like we're doing stuff with like banana ball style stuff, like just randomly after practice, like, hey, let someone hit us ground balls. And it was oh man, it was awesome. And another thing too is like I practice that stuff all the time. And I know Caleb does too, because if you can do these crazy plays, everything else becomes 10 times easier.
Routine. Hmm.
Routine plays are that's what you want. Like Coach Alto, he would always say, plain vanilla. Austin, I don't want no damn sprinkles. I don't need so chocolate sauce. Please, for the love of God, give me a plain vanilla. For the love of God. I said, okay, I can't do that. Like, no, but it's like I practiced. I would always practice it on the side in JUCO, but because you need that extra, and you build that confidence. Like, I can do this, dude. I'm chilling. Like, I
Yeah.
got you. And all our pitchers with me and Caleb, they would love to hit you ground balls. They loved hitting us ground balls because who's backing them up? Who's making the plays? We are. Everyone like, hey, I need a pitcher. Which one? Who wants it? People be running in to hit me ground balls because like, hey, if this guy's ready, I don't care where I throw a ball, I can hit it right there so he can gobble it up. He can make
Yep.
a backhand, a sick diver, sick play up the middle. My infield's got it. So it was cool when you had like pitchers that like respected that and be like,
Yeah.
dude, I'll hit you 100 right now. I'll hit you
No, we
200.
didn't make errors. We did not
Mm-mm.
make errors
No.
either. Like I don't say that out of like being braggadocious or whatever, but like we took pride in like we're all going to be the best infielder today, every single day. I mean, we
Yep.
played, almost 100 games a year, and it's like we're not making errors. If we make an error, we're like killing ourselves in the dugout.
Yeah, we're like,
Like,
what the hell just happened? Yeah, and
yeah,
you did
yeah.
not make many. I made a little bit
No.
more than you, but you did not make many.
I
Yeah.
was that weird kid. I had when I played second, I wrote E4 on my glove because I'm like, it ain't ever happening. Like
I love that.
it's
Sick.
here. And I would look at it and like, I mean, if I had more than 3 errors in a year, it was like, you're trash. And here's a good one for you. So I feel like this is like a JUCO thought process.
I loved you, Joe.
And I don't know how PC this is going to be, but I remember my freshman year, it was like my first error, and it was bad. It was a routine ground ball.
Still
I mean,
haunts
I
me.
just butchered it, man. It ate me up, and I come in, and coach just dogged me now. Like Mike, he played at Florida State. He played some minor league ball with the Blue Jays, but he's a shortstop. But he came up to me afterwards. He's just like, Bergstrom, to make an error at second base. He goes, you should never make an error at second base. He goes, and I come to think, he goes, second base is the retard of the infield. You should never make an error at second base. And I was just like, oh, okay, that's how we're playing it. My bad, coach.
Hey, that was the times right there, man. Dude, that is so funny. I love that. That's how I got into pro ball. Like I was normally a shortstop my whole career. And then they're like, hey, we need a second baseman. I'm like, done. I can do that. Like I can close my eyes and field a ball. Sorry, Caleb. I can just stand there and just whip it around. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, put me in second. That was my foot in the door. And then next year I was like, hey, like, can I like try out for shortstop? I'm like, oh, well, we got Ryan over there. I'm like, well, I'm gonna probably take his spot. And he's like, okay, okay. And then I felt bad, dude. He had to retire. I took his spot and he retired. So it's just like, it's not fun. That's the hard part. That's the hard part when you got guys that retire that you really care about. But great guy. Great guy.
So
We
speaking
love
of retiring after sports, I know you're coaching and developing and doing some cool things for some of the kids and some of the athletes you're working with, and
Mhm.
you got your brand now, right? Like Whoa Hands.
Well, hands team. We got some stuff
Hands
going.
team. Yeah, I love it. So shout out to Woe
Yep.
Hands. All of Austin's all of the athletes, shout out to you guys that are watching this. But it's cool to see you developing the next generation. And I know it's a little bit different, with sports versus maybe business or whatnot. But for me and Trey, we're kind of developing the next wave of senior brokers and helping other people come up the ranks. And you're kind of doing that same thing, passing on your knowledge and your expertise, and teaching them how to play the game the right way. How's that been transitioning from getting married this past year, starting a new career, kind of doing some things for your next chapter? How's that transition been? What have you learned? What are some of the odds you've had to overcome? And what would you say your biggest takeaways from that have been so far?
Well, I know that it's definitely been from going from playing to coaching was difficult because, like I said a little bit earlier, like it was just kind of like just do it, and then I didn't really understand how to be a coach. I just was like, okay, I can coach, like I can do that, like, and then once you start really growing and understand like caring about these kids and be like, okay, like it just it just kind of hits you where it's like, okay, you really start breaking stuff down. And honestly, I feel like once I started coaching and I had that like last year of pro ball, like when I started, like that I got even better. Like I'm like, I understand the game way more once I started coaching. I'm like, dude, I wish I knew this and had this mentality when I was playing even more. Because like I'm breaking stuff down every day and I'm like, oh man, I'm like doing my swing. I'm like, man, I can, oh man, I'm hitting pretty good showing this kid how like it's the little things that like it just really takes a toll. And when now that I'm coaching, it's like I'm really trying to help these kids understand like you guys have to take the little things for the advantage because everyone's like, I don't want to do T. I'm just gonna hit. I'm gonna hit. Like, dude, that T work is it. What are you messing?
Monumental.
Yeah, what are you messing up? We need to get those early fundamentals down so that in the game you don't have little holes in that swing. You don't have little holes in your pitching mechanics, your running mechanics. Like it's a whole different ball game. Like it's so that has I've come a long way now. I've been coaching for now like 6.5 years, and so it's definitely come. And I enjoy it. I really love it. I enjoy it heavily. I went to school for physical therapy, like to go to PT school. I didn't get in this past year, so I'm kind of taking a hiatus, and I just want to see where my coaching and I'm also a personal trainer can go from there and see where we are. That's why I made the Whoa Hands team, which I got a coined when I was actually with Caleb and Taylor. I was a hands team, hands team. Every time we'd make a play, hands team. Sorry, do not have four shortstops, hands team. So I'm like, oh, whoa, hands team. That's so play on my name. Married life, it is awesome. Doesn't feel any different, but it feels we definitely are working, I feel like more together. We communicate a little bit better. There's definitely ups and downs, but it's fun and it's cool. I love saying my wife, I always like laugh like my wife. Okay, like I've been saying my fiance for the last like 3 years, but like now my wife and get to wear the ring every day. Like it's cool. Like we got married November 21st, so it's almost
Congrats.
thank you. Almost 3 months. Well, I don't know when this is going to air, but in 2 days. So it'll be our 3 month anniversary little thing. So it's fun. But it's been a great time with coaching, with marriage. She keeps me locked in and understands like when I have trouble with parents that I'm dealing with, and she kind of calms me down. I can talk and communicate with how I'm feeling rather than explode because I've been there before where I'm just kind of like attack because I'm getting attacked. And now it's kind of like I can come back, talk. I give them like the 24-hour rule, like do not talk to me for 24 hours. If you're heated, like let it, then maybe you'll see it my way, or you could talk to me and then we'll talk in an hour or like in 24 hours. So I've been working with her on that too, which she helps me, cools me down. Sometimes
That's
she's even
smart.
more heated than I am, you know what I mean? She's like, what they're saying? And which I love, but I'm just it's been cool. We've been able to work together with this, and she's my backbone. She helps me out when things get a little rough.
Yeah. Parents are rough, man. That's an aspect as a kid I didn't see so much.
Yeah,
But with a 12, a 10, an 8-year old, and a three, the older three playing, all the sports, it's like, man, there's a lot of stuff that goes around being said, and you're just like, guys, man, suit it up, get out there and see if you can't do
yeah,
better.
dude, it's crazy. It was like it was probably like my third year or second year coaching. It was during COVID. It was during COVID. It was like either right before or right after when a lot of little league players, like little league shut down, but travel ball was still going. So like these guys were eight. So I had an 8U team. And like there was kids on my team that 100% should be travel ball, other kids that probably should need a little bit more development, but like they want to play. So it's like, all right, let's come on out. Let's come play. And they're not the best, but like this kid had potential. And we're in Arizona because that was the only time we could play. And I didn't hear it because I'm coaching, but I hear parents say, like, come up to me, like, did you hear what that dad said? Like, we had a dad on the team talking crap about a kid on our team, our own dad, and the kid can hear him. He's right behind home
Jeez,
plate,
man.
and he's saying how this kid sucks. He sucks. Oh, this kid can't even hit anything. He's brutal. And this kid's like, you can see him like almost like tears in his eyes. And I remember asking him, like, what's going on? And like, nothing, nothing, nothing. Like he ended up like walking or something like that because like he got to third somehow. Like, you're good, dude. He's like, yeah. And I didn't realize what was happening. Like he could hear the parents of an 8-year-old talking crap to about him. Like, and I told the kids, I'm like, the kid was probably one of the better kids on the team. I said, dude, like, I don't care how good your kid is, like, that will never happen again. You guys will leave this program. Like, I should
Mhm.
have just left him anyway, but like I was like, we needed kids to like build a team. But I was like, if this happens ever again, you guys are gone. I don't care. We'll play with 8. We don't need you guys there. Like, it's just like
Yeah.
I was like, this was like a new world. Like, I get growing up, like when I'm in college and like talking smack, I get that. But like 8-year-old, it was weird to me.
That is weird.
It's a different time. Like some travel ball parents are pretty crazy, man.
Dude, they're
I
nuts.
love them, but sometimes they can be a little crazy, a little
Yeah,
scary.
100%. No, this is good stuff, man. Last couple things here before we call it a day, man. Uh, some big things are happening. I know you're trying to continue to grow and build your program and organization and all that good stuff. But I know family in the future. We talked a little bit about that, like trying to maybe grow a family and what that looks like. I know whenever I was playing, you were Uncle Austin. So
Yeah.
you're great with kids. So you and Shelby thinking about. I know y'all just got married like 3 months ago, but what is y'all?
No rush.
No
No
rush.
rush, but
No
I
rush.
mean, you're not getting any younger.
That's what people sell. That was people sell me. No, right now we're really playing it by ear. We're trying to make sure we're in a good space. We still want to do our honeymoon, so it's like we don't want to have a kid and then do a honeymoon. So we want to hopefully have that honeymoon in either May or June. We're probably going to go to Greece, which will be cool. So,
Nice.
but yeah, 100%, 100%. We want kids in the future and hopefully sooner than later. But we're not rushing into it, right? It's just, I mean, I get it with it's time's ticking, but I think in time, like I feel like it never helps anything. Like if you're stressed out, we got to have this, got to have that. Like it's going to happen. It's going to happen, So, um, we're happy right now, and hopefully we can be even happier when we have a little munchkin running around, little hellion. If I know if he's anything like me, he or she's going to be a handful. That's for sure.
That's awesome. No, that's good stuff, dude. Well, last thing before we jump off, if you were to give, like, I always ask this, like, if you were to give 3 just mindset pieces that you've been able to develop over the course of your career and your life and your journey, just maybe some of 3 important pieces of advice that you would give someone watching this on how you've been able to beat the odds and overcome adversity and some of the mindset pieces, like what would you tell someone your top 3, just what
Let's see.
defines you and what makes you
Uh,
you on the mindset, top 3.
let's see. I'll go with the first one is never ever give up, right? NAGU, it was a cancer foundation at my team at Orange Coast College, kind of like we were like team NAGU type of thing. And so we really got backed them up. And it hits home where it's like it's about kids that have cancer, like never ever give up. Like they're fighting for life. We're just out here playing a game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like the parents and the kids, like they're having the best time of their life. So I think like when I think never ever give up, I'm just saying like there's gonna be hard days, there's gonna be rough times in everything you do. Just never give up. Never ever just get to the next step, get to the next step. And the next day, it's always something gonna be better down the road. Another thing is I would think number 2 would be uh bet on yourself, man. Like there's sometimes that you're just like, oh, I hope that this happens. I'm like, no, like trust what you like your ability in your sport, your job. Like don't try to be like, oh, okay, well, if this does happens, this happens. When I think I went so far and you played so long, it's because you guys trusted in like your ability, yourself, where it's like you've worked so hard, like you respected that process and it took you where you want to go. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna, back burner. No, like you went gung ho, you bet on yourself, you guys did the best you can do. And I think I'm very happy. Yes, I would have loved to be in the bigs, but I am very happy with everything that I put into it and everything that I've done. And I'm like, I retired and I was like, I'm okay with that. It was definitely retiring was hard the first time going back to like a spring training game, like when we coached in Arizona. I was kind of like, I literally went for 5 minutes and I left. I was like, some guy made an error at shortstop. I was like, trash. And I left. And I left. And I was so pissed. I was like,
You could be out there. Yeah.
put some sad music on, got back in the hotel, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm back. But it was so, but like that's the thing. It's like I was very happy with after. Like I'm like, you know what? Like I did everything I could. I worked as hard as I could. I bet on myself and I believed in myself. And it really it really went a long way. It really did. And then number 3, I think biggest thing, you gotta have faith. Faith in God, faith in your friends, faith in your family. I have so many good people around me, including like especially my wife, who that's why I married her, right? Like there's so many good things that these people in my life do, and they don't even know. Sometimes they do it. Like, it's just like little hints here, a little, hey, how's it going? Like it keeps you going, it keeps you, and like I'm an only child, so like family or friends and family are everything. Like especially friends. Like I had no brother and sister, so like I really latched on to everyone that I meshed well with. I'm like, that's my brother, that's my sister. And it's really cool to see like the more you can like have the faith in God, and like that's how you kind of people can see that, and they kind of just start flocking to you, and you like people want to be around you more, you want to be around, like it's a cool thing. Like so having faith in not only God but friends and family, like yeah, that's what I've been living my life with, and I feel like I'm in a good place right now, which is cool. So
Great stuff.
I love it. Love it. Well, dude, this has been amazing. Trey, this has been awesome. And
it was awesome. Nice to meet you, man.
Appreciate you joining us today. And this has been a great just conversation. And hopefully some people can have some great takeaways from all the stories and all the things. But appreciate you taking some time out. Can't wait to have you back on in the future. And excited for everything you got going on. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. Welcome you back next time. And as always, remember, beat the odds. Bye, everybody.